Now, let's learn how to create, open, and save a workbook. At any time, even with this new blank file open, I can create a new one. At any time, I can click File on the top left hand side and click Blank Workbook right here in the middle of the screen. If I don't want a new blank one, I can use a template. And all the way on the right hand side, I can click More Templates to see a list of templates that I can choose from. If I scroll down, I can browse all of these templates from Microsoft, things like work schedules, attendance reports, inventories, invoices, and budgets, everything I can think of. And if I can't find a template, I can browse for it by clicking where it says Search Online Templates. And if I still can't find what I'm looking for, I can always click the very large blank workbook icon to create that blank file. It's going to open up a new blank file, and now I can start typing inside the cell. I can hit the Enter key to move to a new row or the Tab key to move to a new column. When I'm ready to save it, I'll click File one more time and Save As. If I want to save it locally somewhere on my PC, I can click Browse and it's going to bring up the Browse dialog for the PC, and I can save it somewhere like My Documents. However, I am currently logged into an Office 365 account and I have my OneDrive account here, so I'll click on that. I'll click inside a folder inside OneDrive such as Documents, and now we are prompted to give my file a name. I'll call it About Us and click Save. It's going to save my file and bring me back to it so I can continue working. In fact, this icon on the top left hand side of the screen has two arrows next to the Save button. A benefit of saving it to OneDrive is that it's automatically going to save whenever I make a change. I can continue working, and at any time, I can open a file by going back to the File menu and clicking Open. However, if it's a file that I've accessed recently, it's going to be right here in the middle of the screen in this Home tab. I could click on it and start working on it. If it's something that I access all the time, I can click on this push pin icon and it's going to pin it to the top of the list. So now whenever I'm looking for a file, I can just go to this pinned tab, find it, and double click on it. It's going to open it back up, and I can start working on it. Now, let's learn how to insert and format text. I have this new blank file, and I want to talk a little bit more about the structure of an Excel file and then start entering and formatting some text. The first thing I'm going to do is zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit more clearly, and I do that by clicking the plus sign all the way on the bottom right hand side of the screen. I'll click a few times to zoom in. Now, you are hearing me call this an Excel file. And usually, that's what you'll call it, but it is important to note that the technical term of what this really is an Excel workbook. It's a workbook made up of sheets, that is worksheets. Right now, this sheet is all the way down at the bottom of the screen. I can input my data here, and I can click this plus sign to add multiple sheets. I'll click New Sheet, and all of a sudden, we have a completely separate worksheet within this workbook, that is the Excel file. I can reference these sheets differently. We will be going over how to use and work with multiple worksheets in a later video, but I did need you to know that this is a workbook. I will probably go back to calling it a file, however, because like I said, that's what you are going to be calling it most of the time. That's what we all do. The two terms can be used interchangeably, but officially, it's a workbook. Alright, So now we have our file open. Let's start population it with some basic text and fill out some columns and rows. I'm going to be putting in some sales data for our products for our fictional company, Red 30 Tech. To get started, I could put my cursor in any cell by clicking directly on it. Right now, I'm in column F, row A. So, this is cell F8. And if I look, if I'm number lost and don't know where I am, all the way on the top left hand side of the screen, in the name box, I can see that this is indeed cell F8. For now, though, I'm going to put my cursor in cell A2 and start typing. I'll hit the enter key to move the cursor to the next row. And now, I can continue typing. Alright, now I've got some products populated. Now, I'm going to start filling in my column headers. Now, the data that I have in column A is taking up some of column B. It's not in column B. It's just too long and I can't see the contents of column B. We'll be going over how to resize these officially later. But for now, I'm going to hover my mouse right in between column A and column B and slide the mouse over. Now, I have a clear line of sight to column B. So, I'll put my cursor in cell B1 and start typing. This time, instead of hitting the enter key, which would move me onto a new row, I'm going to hit the tab key, which will bring me to the next column. And last, I can put in a title if I wanted to. Alright, we are ready to populate this with our sales data. So, we'll put the cursor in, and now we can start formatting it. When it comes to formatting, there's no rules. It depends on what type of data it is, who it's for, and how much time you have to invest in formatting it. This one is pretty basic, right? We have some columns of data. Let's make it a little more interesting and easier to look at. These years are actual column headers. We want to make these stand out a little bit more. Now, we can always click directly into one cell, and from the Home ribbon tab, I can change anything. I can make it boldface, I can change the font, I can change the size of it, and I can even highlight. All of these cells by clicking and dragging with my mouse and doing it all at once. I can change the background color of the cell, and this is a little bit hard to read, so now I'll change the font color of the text. Now, it stands out a little bit more, and we can do the same thing to the rows. I'll click and drag all of this. I'll just make it bold-faced. Now, this unit's sold. This is the title of the entire spreadsheet. We might want to make this stand out even more. I can make the font bigger just in this one cell. Now, I did that because I wanted to show you what happens to the rest of the cells. It's going to make these bigger too, and there's nothing you can do about that, but what you can do is make them look a little bit nicer. For example, you can see that these numbers are all right aligned. So, I can highlight this and I can center align all of them. And in fact, I can even middle align them in the cells so that they are arranged in the middle and in the center. Now, that looks much nicer. So if you are ready to take your skills to the next level and unlock the full potential of your data, subscribe to my channel today. I can't wait to see you on the next video.